do something so daring. No one's even thought of it yet. So everybody knows who the king of the underworld is.
Who was Frank Mitchell? May 19, 1929, better known as the Mad Axeman, was an English criminal and friend of the Kray twins. Mitchell was one of 7 children born into a working-class family from Limehouse, East London. At the age of 9, he stole a bicycle from another child for which he was taken before a juvenile court and put in probation. As an adult, Mitchell possessed great physical strength and like demonstrated by lifting a grand piano off the floor or picking up 2 full-grown men, one each hand. He also had a short temper and the mind of a child of 13 or under. From the age of 17, Mitchell was regularly incarcerated in prison, mostly for shop breaking and theft. During a brief spell of freedom, he fathered a daughter with a girlfriend, but never knew about her. In prison, Mitchell was a thorn in flesh of authority. His prison terms were characterized by violence and against guards and fellow inmates. He was one of the ringleaders in the riot Rochester, Bristol. He slashed the guard across the face and was charged with attempted murder after attacking an inmate he believed he had informed on him. He was later acquitted. In 1955 he was diagnosed as mental defective and sent to the Renton Psychiatric Hospital. 2 years later, Mitchell escaped with another inmate. They attacked a man with an iron bar before stealing his clothes and money. When he was recaptured, Mitchell attacked the police with 2 meat cleavers and he was sent to Broadmoor. He escaped again, broke into the private home and held a married couple hostage with an axe, for which he was nicknamed the Mad Axeman. In the press, in October 1958, he was sentenced to life imprisonment for the robbery with violence. Mitchell was sent to Dartmoor prison in 1962, which he was behavior improved. He kept his butcher riggers and he was transferred to the honor party, a small group of trustees who were allowed to work outside the prison walls with minimal supervision. Mitchell was permitted to roam the moors and feed the wild ponies, even visit nearby pubs. On one occasion he got a taxi to Oakhampton to buy a bird. The governor of the prison promised Mitchell that if slayed out of trouble he would recommend to the Home Office that he be given a release date. 4 years later, Mitchell agreed that he had still not received one. Mitchell became friends with Whitey Kray and they served a sentence together at the Wandsworth prison in 1950s. During Mitchell's trial for attempted murder, Ron hired a lawyer for him and paid for him to have a new suit fitted. Ron was keen breaking Mitchell out of prison, thinking it would help him to vocalize his injustice and earn a release date as well as a change the Krays scenting the underworld. Red Kray recalled that he was unwilling but finally reasoned that if nothing else he could stick to 2 fingers of the law. Red visited Mitchell at the Dartmoor in disguise and informed him of the plan. On December 12, 1966, while with a small work party on the moors, Mitchell asked for the so-called for permission to feed some nearby Dartmoor ponies. His request was granted. He walked over the quiet road where a getaway car containing associates of the Krays, Albert Dung, Matt, Teddy Smith and Billy Exley were waiting him and they drove to London where the Krays put him up in a flat in Barking Road, East Ham. It was over 5 hours before Mitchell was reported missing. Mitchell escape made national news, led to a political storm over the lax security around the man described in the press as the Britain's most violent convict, and he was debated in the House of Commons at large manhood and chosen with 200 policemen, 100 Royal Marines and a Royal Air Force helicopter searching the moors with the aid of Teddy Smith. Mitchell soon became a problem for the Krays. Owing to his physical strength and short temper, he was difficult to control. He was unwilling to give himself a return to prison and he was not allowed to leave the flat in case he was recognized. The Krays feared releasing him for turning him and he could implicate them and escape. Mitchell felt insulted that Ron hadn't visited him and that all Greg only visited him once and particularly upset that he could not visit his parents, despite he was living nearby. He grew increasingly upset and began making the threats against the Krays. To make him less angry, they brought a woman to the flat. Lisa Prescott, a blonde nightclub hostess. Mitchell soon became in love with her. Further complicated situation. The Krays decided the only solution was to kill him. On December 24, 1966, Mitchell was led into the back of a van of Albert home, thinking he was taken to a safe house in the countryside where he would meet up with Ron Kray. There was almost another argument when he realized that Lisa would not be coming with him. Dunnock convinced him that it was safe for him to follow later on. Waiting in the van were several men, among Freddie foreman, Felix Gallardo, who were armed with revolvers. Once the doors were closed and the engine started, they opened up fire on Mitchell, killing him. Dunnock thought 12 shots were fired before Mitchell died. His body was never recovered. Foreman later revealed that Mitchell's body was bound with chicken wire, weighted down and dumped in the English Channel.